On the journey to make air taxis a viable alternative to driving that's more cost-effective and upwards of 5 times faster, let's see how Joby Aviation has been faring while looking at its future flight routes. Along the way, we'll check out how far along their all-electric vertical takeoff and landing (eVTOL) air taxi has progressed, as well as what they're doing to accelerate and support air taxi adoption. Beyond that, since the urban air mobility market is projected to be worth $1 trillion globally by 2040, applications beyond city-to-city passenger transport will also be discussed. Then, although their aircraft are designed to carry a pilot and 4 passengers, reaching speeds of up to 200 miles per hour with a range of 100 miles, regulatory compliance adds to flight time. So we'll also go over how FAA certification is coming along, in addition to progress in other markets like Japan and Dubai. Likewise, Joby's tailwinds will be highlighted in the form of partnerships with major companies like Toyota, Uber, and NVIDIA, which uplift its position in the VTOL market, as well as the effect of acquiring Blade Air Mobility's passenger segment. An early standout moment that helped Joby start lifting off took place in Marina, California, with the completion of its first fully piloted transition flights, moving from vertical takeoff to forward cruise and back again. This made it the first company to routinely perform inhabited electric air taxi transitions, validating years of testing and development. Later in May, testing continued in Marina, California, as the stakes were raised by Joby flying 2 of its electric air taxis simultaneously for the first time. After that, the summer heated up with a series of piloted VTOL wing-borne flights in Dubai, marking the start of its commercial market readiness in the region, as it plans to begin passenger service in 2026 and support its 3-pronged commercialization strategy: direct operations, aircraft sales, and regional partnerships. Progress towards these goals is made possible through collaboration with Dubai's Roads and Transport Authority, RTA, the Dubai Civil Aviation Authority, DCAA, and the UAE General Civil Aviation Authority, GCAA. The Dubai flights built on nearly 2 years of hot weather testing at Edwards Air Force Base in the U.S., where Joby completed over 40,000 miles of flight testing, piloted transition flights, and multi-aircraft operations, resulting in concrete confidence which likely helped Joby attain exclusive rights to operate air taxis in Dubai for 6 years. Now, vertiport construction is underway at Dubai International Airport, DXB, Palm Jumeirah, Dubai Marina, and Dubai Downtown to support commercial operations. Once fully operational, a trip from DXB to Palm Jumeirah would take 12 minutes versus 45 by car. Back in California during the International Air Show, Joby conducted public demonstrations, completing 3 round-trip flights between Marina and Salinas airports. Each flight featured vertical takeoffs, transitions to cruise flight, precision hovering, and vertical landings, allowing attendees to observe the aircraft's quiet operation and maneuverability. All important features to warm up the public to the idea of ubiquitous urban air mobility, as well as showcasing reliability ahead of FAA type inspection authorization testing expected early next year. Since CEO Joby Aviation emphasized the significance of showcasing the aircraft to continue public engagement, similar flights are likely to take place at the Dubai Air Show later in November for all to see. Now returning back to the Middle East and starting discussion of global expansion, one of Joby's earlier commercial partnerships was with GTEx to advance sustainable air mobility across the Middle East, whereby Joby integrates electric air taxi service into GTEx's network of luxury private terminals, beginning with key locations in the UAE. As part of the partnership, Joby will install its global electric aviation charging system at GTEx sites to support future operations connecting passengers to vertiports and regional destinations. Joby developed the global electric aviation charging system to be compatible with various electric aircraft and will be open-sourced to encourage the adoption of air taxis. Then, for extra juice to keep Joby powered towards commercialization, the closing of the first $250 million tranche of a strategic investment from Toyota Motor Corporation provided a giant jolt of energy. This funding strengthens the long-term collaboration between the two companies and supports Joby's certification and commercial production efforts. The investment is also a key step toward a potential manufacturing alliance, leveraging Toyota's expertise to optimize design and streamline manufacturing processes for Joby's aircraft. Joby CEO Joby Aviation highlighted that the funding enhances the company's ability to scale electric flight and meet growing market demand, while Toyota North America CEO Tetsuo Ted Ogawa emphasized the shared vision for advancing urban air mobility. Financially, Joby maintains a strong position with over $1 billion in total liquidity, including Toyota's investment, giving it enough charge to keep rolling down the runway of certification processes and kindling commercial partnerships on the path to profitability that's not expected by the end of the year. Another factor keeping Joby's market expectations flying high is the potential of large aircraft deliveries within the next few years. For example, Joby announced a Memorandum of Understanding, MOU, with Abdul Latif Jameel to explore opportunities for distributing Joby's electric aircraft in Saudi Arabia. The potential agreement, valued at approximately $1 billion, could result in the delivery of up to 200 electric aircraft and related services over the coming years, aligning with Saudi Arabia's Vision 2030 to promote socio-economic growth and modernize the nation's mobility sector. The MOU represents a step toward commercializing Joby's electric air taxis in the Middle East, leveraging Abdul Latif Jameel's extensive local network. It may cover distribution, sales, local air taxi services, aftermarket support including maintenance, repair, and overhaul, MRO, and pilot training. Then to launch passenger air taxi service in Ras Al Khaimah by 2027, Joby partnered with the Ras Al Khaimah Transport Authority, RAKTA, and Skyports Infrastructure. The agreement, signed in the presence of Sheikh Saud bin Sakr Al Qasimi, will combine Joby's aircraft with Skyports' vertiport infrastructure. The service will connect locations within Ras Al Khaimah and create an inter-emirate corridor to Dubai, supporting Joby's planned Dubai operations. Initial routes will include Al Marjan Island, home to the Wynn Al Marjan Hotel opening in 2027, and Jebel Jais Mountain, potentially cutting travel time from Dubai International Airport to Al Marjan Island to under 15 minutes compared with over an hour by car. Esmail Hassan Al-Blushi, RAKTA Director General, highlighted that the partnership aligns with Ras Al Khaimah's vision to integrate advanced transport into its urban and tourism ecosystem, as outlined in the Comprehensive Mobility Plan 2030. Al Marjan Island will host the first vertiport with additional sites planned in phases. Similarly, spirits are flying high in Japan, thanks to ANA Holdings and Joby entering into a joint venture to launch electric air taxi services in Japan, aiming to deploy over 100 aircraft in the coming years. Just like at the California International Air Show in the summer, public demonstration flights of ANA-branded Joby VTOL aircraft took place earlier in October at Expo 2025 Osaka, showcasing vertical takeoffs, wing-borne flight, and landings, prompting ANA President Koji Shibata to highlight the service's potential to alleviate urban transportation challenges, enhance regional connectivity, and provide a new, efficient travel option. The joint venture will build a supporting ecosystem, including vertiports, pilot training programs, and maintenance infrastructure, in collaboration with government and private partners, in addition to Toyota being a key collaborator and investor. The rollout of a national air taxi network will be phased, starting with Tokyo in cooperation with the Japan Civil Aviation Bureau. Next, one of the biggest boosts to Joby came from it acquiring Blade Air Mobility's passenger business for approximately $125 million, helping to accelerate electric air taxi commercialization for urban passenger service. Blade's medical division, which transports organs and provides time-critical medical logistics, was excluded from the deal and remains a separate public company rebranded as Strata Critical Medical, which will partner with Joby for medical transport operations. Joby will become the preferred VTOL partner for Strata's organ transport business, demonstrating the broader applicability of its aircraft in high-value, mission-critical operations. The acquisition is advantageous because it gives Joby immediate access to Blade's network, which served over 50,000 passengers in 2024 from 12 urban terminals. Blade's established infrastructure is located in key urban markets across the U.S. and Europe, including dedicated terminals and lounges at New York City hubs such as JFK, Newark, the west side and east side of Manhattan, and Wall Street. By leveraging Blade's operational expertise and loyal customer base, Joby expects to accelerate commercialization, reduce customer acquisition costs, and transition passengers from conventional helicopters to its next-generation electric aircraft. Joby will integrate its Elevate OS software, designed to manage high-tempo air taxi operations, into Blade's passenger service to enhance efficiency and customer experience. Blade's passenger operations will continue as a standalone subsidiary under Joby, led by Blade founder and CEO Rob Wiesenthal, who will also serve as chairman of Strata. Blade executives Will Hayburn and Melissa Tomkiel will become co-CEOs of Strata while retaining their financial and legal leadership roles. The deal also provides Joby a platform to launch commercial operations in Dubai next year and support subsequent global expansion. The transaction structure allows Joby to pay cash or stock, with $35 million of the total price tied to performance milestones and retention of key employees. To propel passenger service even further, Joby and Uber plan to integrate Blade's passenger services into the Uber app as early as 2026, allowing Uber users to book Blade flights directly through the app, providing access to Blade's established network. The move builds on Joby's ongoing partnership with Uber, which began in 2019, and Joby's acquisition of Uber's Elevate division in 2021. By leveraging Blade's infrastructure, landing points, and dedicated passenger lounges, Joby aims to accelerate the launch of its VTOL air taxis in global markets, not only in Dubai, Los Angeles, and New York, but also the UK and Japan, particularly as integration into Uber's app is expected to increase brand visibility and market access. Extra publicity was delivered when the newly minted Blade Urban Air Mobility, acting as a new division of Joby Aviation, was named the official air mobility partner for the 2025 Ryder Cup in September at Bethpage Black Horse in Farmingdale, New York. Over 4 days, Blade transported upwards of 3,000 passengers, marking one of the largest civilian helicopter movements to a sporting event in U.S. history. Flights operated between Manhattan, surrounding New York areas, the Blade Vertiport at Bethpage, and Republic Airport with typical travel times reduced to 12-minute flights. The Ryder Cup Vertiport had 15 landing zones at Bethpage Red and an amphibious seaplane landing zone at Republic Airport. Christiana Weller, Blade's VP of Marketing, noted the service demonstrates the advantages of urban air mobility, particularly during high-traffic events like the Ryder Cup. PGA official John Handley highlighted that Blade's services improve speed, convenience, and guest experience. At the same time, Joby has received attention from the military, having already completed a 4-week maintenance training program with the U.S. Air Force focused on the upkeep and inspection of its electric air taxi. Conducted under the company's AF Werks Agility Prime contract, the program trained several service members, including a flight test pilot and aircraft maintainers, at Joby's flight test and manufacturing facilities in Marina, California. The training, based on Joby's aircraft maintenance manual developed for FAA-type certification, combined classroom instruction with hands-on experience performing inspections and pre-flight checks on Joby's production prototype aircraft. Fani Simi, Joby's president of operations, said the collaboration provided valuable feedback from Air Force personnel to enhance Joby's in-house maintenance training program. Opportunities in defense, emergency healthcare, and cargo could certainly accelerate the adoption of flying taxis, as stated by industry executives at the Paris Air Show. On top of that, the Trump administration directed regulators to fast-track certification of electric VTOLs to secure a U.S. lead over Asia. Joby has been participating in the U.S. Air Force Agility Prime program, developing autonomous and hybrid electric aircraft for military applications. The contracts it's secured are worth over $130 million, providing tangible revenue and operational proof to help shift perceptions of VTOLs from luxury novelties to practical transport solutions. Within the defense sector, Joby and L3Harris Technologies have partnered to develop a gas turbine hybrid VTOL aircraft for defense applications. It will be designed for low-altitude missions and will support both piloted and fully autonomous operations, enabling long-range, crewed-uncrewed teaming. Flight testing is in the works, with operational demonstrations during government exercises scheduled for 2026. Joby CEO Joe Ben Beavert highlighted that the company has worked with the Department of Defense over the past decade, allowing military stakeholders to monitor dual-purpose technology development. The S-4 aircraft platform, originally designed as an electric air taxi, is being adapted with a gas turbine hybrid powertrain. Joby has also demonstrated aircraft-level autonomy following its acquisition of X-Wing's autonomy division in June 2024 and previously completed a 561-mile hydrogen-electric hybrid flight under a government contract. Then, to take autonomy to the next level, Joby was selected as the launch partner for NVIDIA's new IGX Thor platform, giving Joby's Superpilot autonomous flight technology for military and civil aviation a supercharge. The IGX Thor platform, powered by NVIDIA's Blackwell architecture, will provide real-time onboard computing to support critical functions like autonomous mission management, sensor fusion, and processing for radar and LiDAR, thereby addressing the computational power needed for FAA certification of autonomous flight in controlled airspace. As a result, Joby has a credible pathway to achieving certifiable autonomy, particularly for near-term defense contracts and long-term civil applications. Joby plans to integrate NVIDIA's platform to enhance aircraft capabilities, such as predictive system health monitoring and digital twin modeling, which could optimize aircraft performance and reliability. On the civilian side, Joby received FAA Part 141 certification for its pilot training academy and acceptance of its Part 5 safety management system for flight operations. It's also done aircraft structure testing, such as static load testing that was performed on the tail assembly of its FAA-conforming aircraft. During the tests, engineers applied forces far beyond what the tail structure would encounter during flight to ensure its strength and reliability. Both the test procedure and instrumentation were reviewed and approved by the FAA in advance. Joby's president of aircraft OEM, Didier Papadopoulos, noted that the achievement reflects years of coordinated work by Joby's engineering, testing, and manufacturing teams and showcases the company's vertically integrated approach, allowing it to design, build, and test major aircraft components in-house. In addition to the tail structure tests, Joby's entered the final phase of the FAA's type certification process by conducting its first Type Inspection Authorization, TIA, testing, another key step toward commercial readiness. The TIA phase involves FAA pilots directly evaluating the aircraft's safety and performance against approved certification plans. The initial TIA testing, completed in Marina, California, focused on human factors including pilot workload, ergonomics, and cockpit design, using an FAA-conforming flight deck in a simulator. Geopolitical developments may accelerate Joby's trajectory, as governments in the U.S. and China recognize electric air taxis as part of the emerging low-altitude economy, emphasizing strategic and economic value. Though for now Joby's current focus differs from traditional automotive mass production, the priority is developing a highly reliable, safe aircraft, rather than producing at large scale immediately. To aid in political influence, Joby participated in the White House VTOL Integration Pilot Program, EIPP, designed to accelerate the deployment of electric vertical takeoff and landing aircraft in select U.S. markets before full FAA certification. The program, established via a presidential executive order, directs the Department of Transportation and FAA to enable mature VTOL aircraft to demonstrate passenger transport, cargo delivery, and emergency response capabilities ahead of complete certification. After completing over 40,000 miles of flight testing and completing nearly 600 flights this year, Joby's first FAA-conforming aircraft are set to begin flight testing with FAA pilots in early 2026. To support scaling, Joby has expanded its Marina, California manufacturing facility, planning to double production to 24 aircraft annually, and is developing additional facilities in Dayton, Ohio. Joby is collaborating with state and local governments in Texas, Florida, Ohio, New York, and California to participate in the pilot program, which will select projects within the next few months. The EIPP aims to facilitate safe, scalable VTOL operations, including short-range air taxis, longer-range fixed-wing flights, cargo and logistics, and emergency services such as medical transport. Aircraft in the program may be piloted, optionally piloted, or unmanned, generally weighing over 1,320 pounds and capable of carrying passengers. Lessons learned from the program will inform nationwide integration of VTOLs. It also highlights the advantages of the Blade Air Mobility acquisition once again. As final TIA flight testing approaches, over half of Joby's test plans have already been accepted by the FAA. Regulatory standards also extend to cover verified manufacturing capability. In this area, Joby's vertical integration designing, manufacturing, and testing in-house supports production efficiency. When Joby's 435,000 square foot Marina, California manufacturing facility is fully operational, it will also offer ground flight testing, pilot training simulators, and aircraft maintenance. In parallel, Joby is ramping up operations at a renovated Dayton, Ohio facility, which will manufacture and test aircraft components, with plans to scale production up to 500 aircraft annually. Beyond Dayton, Ohio and Marina, California, Joby's broader manufacturing network includes headquarters in Santa Cruz, California for system architecture and San Carlos, California for powertrain and electronics. Part of the reasons multiple sites are in California has to do with government support in the form of a $9.8 million grant from the California Governor's Office of Business and Economic Development, in addition to a $10 million equipment cost reduction from the California State Treasurer's Office. These incentives then create hundreds of new full-time jobs to support the Marina site's production. So after over a decade in development, Joby's capacity to meet growing demand for electric urban air mobility and advance its vision of safe, fast, and quiet air taxi services is finally nearing liftoff. For more on stocks and crypto, follow Ascencore. Thanks for watching and have a nice day.